So
Just sit back that further.
I know, right? Yeah. Like, where isn't Tony at work? No, he's staring into a screen. Oh, is he talking to Quinnton? No, Quinnton's at work. Tony's just staring into the screen.
I love it.
Okay, we'll mark that down.
This episode is powered by Poddex.
Speaking of fun, honestly, dude, I'm really glad I got back into Destiny. I feel like the last time I got in there, I was doing it for the wrong reasons.
Well, you were like in the wrong headspace for Destiny. Like you didn't understand what it was. It didn't flow with like what you were playing and stuff, because that was when you were playing a lot of PUBG.
True.
And, like, you were used to dying a lot. Every death was like heavy, right? Like PUBG.
It was the end, especially PUBG. Yeah. Like there was no respawn opportunity, but also that was like the height of the divorce, or rather the height of the breakup that my ex-wife and I were having. So I'm forcibly trying to distract myself, and then in addition to that, like you said, playing a game that I'm not used to, that kind of gaming mechanic, and just dying every which way. You guys are all talking about the lore and stuff, and to this day, I'm still in that camp where I don't know who the queen is. I don't know, like who's this dying light guy? Is that a thing? Is that a guy, or is it or is it a cult? I don't know. I and you're gonna hate this. I had like 4 cutscenes yesterday. I just skipped through them. Like see, this is what I'm talking about. Like I'm sorry, but I just wanted to play the game. Like I didn't want to. I just wanted to get my bounties, because it was like, that is the priority. Get the bounties. I'm sorry. I failed you. If there's a YouTube channel that just like uploaded them like concurrently, like I can just watch them one after the other until the one that I've seen. But I also haven't finished the campaign. Like the other day, I did a little bit of the campaign, but that wasn't for me to finish the campaign. That was for me to finish on my bounties. And once I finished my bounties, I got out of the campaign. So I don't know. Am I destinying wrong?
Yes. In fact, you are. Oh.
Okay, so now that
this is like painful to listen to.
Well,
Tony.
I'm being honest with you, because you're my friend and I would never lie to you. Spoiler alert. But I would never lie to you, and I know that Destiny is a big part of you and the whole Slicer crew. Ironically, when it came to like Titanfall, and I was doing some of the actual campaign and watching the cutscenes, I enjoyed watching the cutscenes. I watched the cutscenes for that, but for Destiny, I was like, okay, let's go. Let's catch up.
This is painful to listen to. I'm not going to lie.
So I ask you again, if you know of someone who might have, ripped a bunch of the cutscenes and just uploaded them to YouTube, send me the link and I'll take a day. I know you said there was one YouTuber who's like super lore heavy and knows everything under the sun and probably knows more than the actual writers of Bungie somehow. I don't know. But I'm honestly very excited to finally. I have still yet to do Crucible and Gambit with you guys and know what the hell is going on with those moats. What the hell is a moat?
If it makes you feel any better, I'm not the biggest fan of Crucible.
I mean, it doesn't make me feel better because you're a really good FPS PvP guy. So then there's still me. Even Julia, bless her heart, she is a good gamer, but she doesn't play as like that these kinds of games as much as I do. Like I'm, she would even admit, yes, I'm better than her in games like Apex, for example. But even her was like, Tony, stop dying. I mean, I know you're just trying to do this one thing, but could you not die like this much? Like, yes, I could, but I choose not to.
But I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So that's where we're at.
Well, it's fun to have you on there. It's fun to finally see you leveling up and getting ready and The new season started for Destiny. They've got a lot of cool new content. The new raid coming out, I think this Friday, actually.
So what's the light level minimum requirement for the raid? Is it like 1,300 or something?
1,300 is the entry requirement, and then it's just up from there.
So where I'm at right now is like 11. What did I say last night? I ended with 1168.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by this Friday, I probably will be 12 something, but I have to really like grind.
Go down and grind.
I mean, what else other than like what else is going to give me the drops for me to increase my light level other than bounties?
Just doing public events.
Public
honestly,
events
is your best.
Okay.
Is your best bet.
All right. So, North of the Moon, right?
Yeah.
At least for this week.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Off to the moon, everybody. All right. So I wanted to try something a little different, and that was a game that, actually my daughter and I played. But even before that, I watched Dr. Mike on YouTube play it with a couple of his guests, and I thought, hey, this is good content. I'm just going to steal it. But I gave him credit, so it's okay. It's essentially two truths and a lie, but due to time constraints, we're just going to do one truth, one lie, and we have to figure out which one is the lie. So, Quinnton, I posed this on to you, and I hope you've come up with two stories. And so, go right ahead.
No, I want to see the format. You go first.
So, okay, all right. So I'm gonna set a timer for 1 minute. And I'm going to tell you a statement, and then you have a minute to ask me questions about the statement. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. You took a like long pregnant pause there.
I'm getting ready for this.
Okay. All right. All right. So here's the first story. When I had my first cigarette ever, I stole it from a bar. So you have 1 minute, go.
What bar?
It was a pub. I don't know the name of the pub. It was just the pub in Blackpool or Brighton, something that starts with a B.
That's exciting.
Oceanside. No, that's a no.
Who did you steal it from?
So they were on the counter at the pub, and I was, it's in England, hence pub. So kids were going in there because it's kind of a family thing. You just happen to have a lot of alcohol, and it was just on the bar, and so the pack of cigarettes.
Someone's or like.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was. I see what you're saying. Was it a patron's? I don't know. I didn't. I just saw the pack of cigarettes, and I was told to steal it.
You were told to steal it by who?
Oh, okay. I'll answer that last question. By the people I was with. Okay.
Okay.
So the second story is I once professed my love to a girl in front of a bunch of people, only to find out she was already dating one of my best friends.
Oh.
Okay, and go.
Where were you?
Actually, again, this was like what the setting was.
Yeah.
It was at a party, one of my friends' parties.
Like a backyard kind of thing.
Yeah. Just like a DIY backyard party. I forget what it was for. It was a big backyard too. She had like a freaking moat.
I'm not even kidding. To this friend?
No.
What happened? Like, did you guys go, oh dang, okay, moving on, or like what happened after that?
No, it was after the awkwardness of I'm actually already dating so and so. It's like this long pregnant pause, and I was just okay, and I just kind of walked away from like the porch I was on, or I wasn't on a porch, but it was like it It was like a raised porch, raised stage kind of thing. Okay. So, out of those two, which one is the truth and which one is the lie?
I would say the confessing love is the lie.
Confessing love is the lie.
Yep.
Well, Quinnton McKinnon, you are correct.
Yay!
Yeah. That drum roll was longer than I expected. So go ahead. Now you know the format. You get the idea. I'll do the timer. I'll keep myself honest in terms of time. Go ahead.
30 minutes later.
And just move.
No, the 1 minute's still going. I swear.
Just move it to 1 hour, 1 minute. That would be some boring content if I'm being honest. Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, my first one is I am not a day one guardian for Destiny.
Oh, this is the big one. Okay, so day one guardian. So now, do you mean Destiny 1 or Destiny 2?
A day one guardian is defined as someone who started on day of release of Destiny 1.
Okay, so when did you start?
Did you start the timer?
Yeah, it's already.
Oh, it was like 3 or 4 days after. I won like $50 Xbox gift card from work actually, and I bought Destiny then, and was like, I honestly didn't know a whole lot about Destiny. I was kind of like, it's good. I've got a $50 credit. This sounds fun, and I jumped into Destiny at that point.
You weren't aware of what Destiny was going to be. It's by Bungie. It's by the guys that do Halo. You had no idea that.
No, listen, I wasn't that invested in. I was like, okay, there's this cool thing called Destiny, but the thing is when you're like poor, you don't exactly try to get yourself hyped about a game you can't afford.
All right. Okay, so that was the first minute.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, so you were young and did not have as much discretionary funds to just go off and buy willy-nilly. All right. What is your second statement?
It just fell from my head. Give me just a second.
Yeah, come up with that lie, big boy. Let's go.
I didn't get into Halo until Halo 3.
How long after was Halo 3 released after the other Halos came out?
Halo 1 was 2001, Halo 2 was 2003, Halo 3 was 2008.
Was this because of multiplayer, or was it all, again, because of discretionary funds? What's the deal here?
It just, we didn't have a console. We didn't have an Xbox. We didn't have any of that. And I didn't have someone around that was heavily into it. I got into Gears before Halo.
Okay, so when you got the console, you got Gears, not Halo.
My buddy had Gears.
Your buddy had Gears. House. Oh, okay. So that's why you got into Gears.
Right.
What did you dang it. Okay. All right. Two statements.
So what's up?
Two statements about video games, ironically connected and very similar. Okay. I kind of have to think. I feel like the day one. Guardian is true. So the Halo one is the lie.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer?
You are wrong.
Oh, no.
I am a day one guardian.
No. I said day one guardian is true, and the Halo one is the lie. That's what I said.
Nope, that's not what you said.
What did I say?
You said the opposite. I'm pretty sure.
No. I said day one guardian is the truth, and the Halo one is the lie. That's what I said.
Right. No, the story was that I wasn't a day one guardian, and that's the lie. I am a day one guardian.
Oh, okay. Dang it! Oh man.
I see how your thought process was in the right headspace, but nonetheless.
I honestly, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, when have I talked to Quinnton about, about Destiny, and I kind of feel like at one point he said, yeah, I started late or something to that effect. That was good. That was a good one. Not bad at all. Did you only come up with 2 stories, or did you have any more?
It's only 2 I had offhand, but I can try.
All right.
If you want to go another round for yourself.
We'll do one more round. So when I was a kid, I wanted to hang with the quote unquote cool kids, and in order to be initiated into their group, I had to be shot with a BB gun in my chest. And go.
The hell is wrong with those kids?
We had, in Belgium, we had no like Americanized TV without paying like hundreds of dollars for it through satellite. So we went out inside and played and did skateboarding and biking. And there was that one older kid who everyone kind of looked up to, but he was very selective of who he would hang out with. He saw me around school, but never talked to me. And so he's like, hey, you got to do this. If you want to hang out with us, you got to do this. I'm like, I've been hanging out with them for the past hour. I know, but I'm here now. You got to do this.
What kind of BB gun?
I don't remember the gun, but the BBs themselves were plastic. So they weren't metal, which was good. But yeah.
Well, yeah, because if it was metal, I wouldn't believe you, because that would have killed you.
No, they have metal BBs.
No, they have metal BBs, but I'm just thinking the strength at point blank range against your chest has a high chance of doing like some serious damage.
It wasn't completely point. Okay, well, I'm answering more than you need, so that's what I'm gonna just stop right there. All right. So the second story is when I went to visit Greece with my parents, and we were at like the Acropolis and all the other like ruins in Greece and doing the touristy thing. I threw my hat into the center of the Acropolis in order for me to get a closer look at the large standing statues, so I could go, run past the rope, because you can only be on one side of the rope.
Right.
Yeah. So I threw my hat so I could go and get my hat, quote unquote, but I just want to be closer to the statues. And go.
I don't even know if this what is the Acropolis?
Have you ever seen like the ancient Greek ruins of like just those columns? And it has that triangular front, the isosceles like triangular front. It looks like a big temple.
I probably know what you're talking about. So what ended up happening? Did anybody go, hey, what you doing?
Oh, yeah. Greek guards with guns are very scary. And God, this was like early 90s. So there wasn't anything about being PC or anything. They just, whether you're a kid or not, you're running on their sacred, spot of the Acropolis willy-nilly. Right. You don't work there. Yeah, they never pointed the guns at me, but it was very much like they were holding their guns ready to raise.
Threateningly.
Yes, it was very threatening. I don't suggest it. All right, so Greece or the other thing I said. What did I say? Oh, the BB.
What did you say?
Greece or the BB?
I'm gonna say Greece was the lie.
Greece was the lie. Greece was the truth.
Greece was the truth.
Yeah, the BB gun was not a lie. The BB gun, I did get shot, but it was not. It was voluntary. It wasn't required.
What did getting shot earn you?
So to be clear, I got shot in the leg, and it was about like 10 feet away, and it was just we were just playing around. It was one of those things.
How tough are you, kind of thing?
Kind of, yeah. It was one like have you ever been shot by a BB? No. You want to try it? We have one here. No, I'm cool. All right, no problem. 10 minutes later, yeah, go ahead. Like, there was no pressure or anything.
Shoot me.
Yeah. And it was like, hey, shoot me. And my buddy Aaron, who is there, he's like, hey, you don't have to do this. Like, no, it's fine. It's no big deal. And so his friend shot me. His aim was true. He got me in the leg. He didn't, go for my groin or anything like that. And it was, but it was never like a methodology of initiation. Yeah. But the grease thing, yes, totally true. I had one of those like safari hats, not the hard helmet one, but like, the brim goes all the way around.
Right.
I had an allergic reaction in Greece where my skin, I got hives everywhere. And so the doctor said, and this was on vacation, mind you, as well, too.
Yeah.
And so the doctor's like, yeah, so no beaches for you. I'm like, God dang it. So I had to wear this stupid hat. I had to wear like stuff on my nose, for nose block. So I was not a sexy 10-year-old anymore, as I was attempting to be around the Greek girls.
I don't like that term. I do not like that term. Please never say that term again.
And I was enamored by Greek mythology and Greek culture, ancient Greek culture at the time, and still am. And so when we went to the Acropolis, there was this giant stone statue I wanted to get a better look at, but I couldn't see it from where they had roped this off. So I had a plan, like, I'll just throw my hat over there. I'm like, oh no, it's fine. My bad. I'm going to go get my hat. And so that's what I did. My mom and my dad were like, what are you doing? Like, no, it's fine. I accidentally, I accidentally threw it over there. My mom was like, okay, well, ask the attendant to go get it for you. Like, no, I'm over here. The attendant's over there. And I barely take a step over the rope because it's just a rope. It's not a barricade. It's just a rope.
Right.
So I barely take a step over the rope, and I hear a bunch of Greek guys start yelling at me in Greek, obviously. And I don't know Greek all that much, but I do know when someone's yelling at me. And so instead of continuing what I'm doing, I do the exact opposite. And I'm like, oh, okay. And the attendant comes up running like, what, and, he starts speaking in Greek. And then he looked, because my dad is Greek or looks Greek. So, maybe, he thought maybe we understood. And then he changed, to English. And like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, my hat. Like, okay, I get your hat. Don't ever do that again. I'm like, okay. All right.
I
never
won't.
doing that
Please
again.
Don't kill me.
Yeah. I would like not to die in Greece.
God. That was a bad plan. I want you to know. From someone who makes plans, that's a bad plan.
The thing is, like, my logic now is solely based off of life experiences of what not to do. And so the things that I do now, I go through my head, okay, what are the potential outcomes? Well, when I was 10, you almost got shot. So don't do anything similar to that ever again. And so that's
try to not get shot.
Yeah. So that's why when like my kids, decide, hey, I want to go do this thing, my life advice is don't go do this thing. However, because I went through, they're kids, but also because I went through my own life experience, I've learned from that. And unfortunately, as much as we like to tell kids not to do something and they would avoid it for the rest of their life, they don't really learn from that. I mean, if it's a life-threatening thing, falling off a cliff into a ton of spikes, just don't do that. But but something like that, which is, I wouldn't call it, little, especially when there's, potential guns involved. But just like mistakes that you're going to make as a kid, you just kind of have to let it go and let them learn it themselves. And if they don't learn it the first time, they sure as hell will learn it the second time. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'd hope. I'd imagine and hope.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was not allowed to play card games based on like a deck of 52 cards. Those cards wasn't allowed to play anything that involved cards.
So no Pokemon.
No, Pokemon fine. Pokemon fine.
What?
No, cards, like playing cards.
Oh. Okay. So not even solitaire? That's a game.
Mm-mm.
Why not?
Because the cards were based around like a form of gambling, and so nothing involving cards was allowed.
Excuse my ignorance, but is that a Mormon thing? Like from your mother, or
I think it was just an overly protective thing, like because one could say like, oh, you're supposed to not gamble or something like that. Maybe, but like it like to say that it's a Mormon thing is a bit of a stretch. It's more of like an overly protective religious thing, I would say.
Okay. Who's the one that told you not to do it?
My mom, and by that, my grandparents.
Okay. That was it.
Okay.
All right. Second statement.
Second statement. I wasn't allowed to play chess either.
Quinnton, you must play video games. You're not allowed to play board games or... Okay, so no chess, because why? It's based off of, like, war?
A little war, but mainly like this, like my grandpa had like he just said it was a lot involved with like competitions and like bad people.
Okay, I'm a little confused because
it's just it was too like there's too much bad history to. I honestly didn't really look into it a whole lot because I was just like, this is dumb. And eventually that one dropped out faster. That one did drop off faster.
Yeah, because I've played chess against you and I'm not good at all, but you knew what you were doing.
Yes, because it eventually dropped off. The other one, on the other hand, continued on for a long time. But that one eventually, like, they were like, you know what? Fine.
All right. So the statements are, I was not allowed to play card games as a kid, like playing card games.
I would say I was never allowed to play card games at all as a kid for the longest time, and I was never allowed to play chess for like my younger years.
Because I've played chess with this guy, and he's good. Yeah. And not to say that he couldn't learn that later on in life. And I can't ask any more questions. God dang it. But I feel like I remember you said something akin to my grandmother wouldn't let me play cards. But I thought that included Pokemon cards. That's why I asked you about the Pokemon card. And you said, no, Pokemon cards were okay. Which makes me not understand anything. Because aren't they trading cards? So they're still kind of gambling? God dang it. This is difficult, actually. This is actually harder. I thought I had it in the bag because I do remember your grandmother's telling you that cards were a form of gambling. But I thought it meant all cards. I'm going to go with the chess one. The chess one is not, your chess statement is not true.
The chess statement is not true.
Okay.
I grew up playing chess.
Yeah. Okay.
All the time.
Was that your grandfather that taught you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I grew up playing chess. I've played a lot of chess. Chess is, yeah. I'm not good. Don't get me wrong. Like Tony says, I'm good. I'm not. I just know
you're good in the amateurish sense. Like if you were to go up against a grandmaster, yeah, you'll be crushed in like 3 moves. But for, as an armchair chess player goes, you use both armchairs. Like that doesn't make sense at all. You use both arms.
I use both armchairs.
I got both armchairs. That's not chess at all. No. What did your grandfather teach you?
You may have castled and you may have your king still, but I have 2 armchairs. Back off, buddy. Back off.
I I remember when we played chess, you had taken me to the Salt Lake City. Was it the library that we went
Downtown
to?
library,
Downtown
yes.
library. Primarily to show me the view because it was gorgeous
The
out,
architecture and stuff. Yeah.
and we were trying to kill time. And
what were we doing? Anyway, that doesn't matter.
we were trying to kill time because I had to go to the airport at a certain time, but until then we had like 4 hours to kill, and you were being a gracious host, and you're like, okay, what the hell do I do with this guy? I want to go home and sleep. Like, okay, so hi, I'm still here in your house. What do we do? Like, let's go to the library. So we went to the library. We played chess. And you kicked my butt.
No, the cool thing about the chess though at the library was the fact that it was huge.
Oh yeah. It was one of the not completely life size because that would just be insane. But it was the larger kind of chess pieces. Like I would say like 3 feet high, maybe like 2.5 feet high. And yeah, it was definitely enjoyable. I felt pressure because people started watching. And I was like, I don't want these people watching because I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm gonna die.
But then at the same time, I was like, you know what? I'm never going to see these people again. Who cares if I suck? And who cares if Quinnton gets me in like 2 more moves? And some guy in the back like, you should have went to king to knight 4. Or I don't know. I don't know how that works. Now, my question to you is, I know you're not a Star Trek fan, but have you seen the 3D chess that they have in Star Trek with the different levels?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, maybe a picture. Like if you showed me a picture, I might be like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. But yeah, that's about the best you're gonna get.
Okay. Yeah. No, I know like at certain comic conventions because they have added rules to that game. It's definitely akin to chess, but they have to change it a little bit. There's 3 different tiers. I believe they're like 3x3, so like 9 squares on each tier, and you can move in 3 dimensions. And so it's really, really interesting.
That's cool.
To a very different take on chess. I think it's I don't know if it was a Gene Roddenberry idea or just one of his designers. But the community, I guess, I don't know if Paramount was the one that came up with the rules or just the community. It's out there. So if you chess guys and gals wanna challenge and haven't tried it, yeah, go check it out. 3D chess.
Oh, that's cool.
So you and I have talked about like, I don't know if we've talked about this before, but have we talked about like life itself? Just being a simulation, like the Matrix kind of thing, like the potentiality that this is just a game to somebody, and we're just NPCs and a simulation, and it literally doesn't really matter. So this is one of those. I wouldn't call it a conspiracy theory, but this is one of those theories that that have been kind of promoted, especially because of the Matrix, where that. It's kind of fatalism. Like the things will just happen because they happen, and I don't have necessary responsibility because I'm not the one making the decision. It's some other thing out there that's playing The Sims version Earth. And my question to you is not so much that, because that could take us 2 hours to talk about. My question to you is if you did find solid evidence that this is a simulation of some sort, that you don't have control over your choices and somebody else or something else are making these choices for you for their own enjoyment, what would you do with that information? Would you go off and tell a bunch of people, or would you just keep it to yourself and just like, all right, well, now that I know, I'm gonna
my next goal would be figuring out how to get out of the simulation.
Okay, all right. So
like
kind of akin to the Matrix.
Reaction, my immediate kind of reaction is just how do I get out of the simulation? Like what point am I just like ones and zeros? Because if that's the case, like is there a way of getting out of the simulation where I have control of my future? Is there a way of like, okay, the simulation never stops, like it's somehow like a good simulation, let's say, like they're not making the simulation out of malice, they're just doing it to do it, right? It's like,
Right.
okay, can I what kind of cheat codes can I use? Can I get unlimited life? Can I get invulnerability? Can
you
like,
and unlimited life, man? I mean, come on, get off, get over it. Even NPCs die. We know this.
Right. No, I think I would be leaning towards that of like, okay, can I get out, and how can I take advantage of this? Would be my goals.
Okay.
And hopefully, like they're good things, right? Like either A, I can get out and we can work from there, or B, I can at least like enjoy my best life with unlimited life or something like that.
I really,
or maybe lasers for my eyes.
I really do admire your go-getter, like very proactive, like, all right, things have changed. I'm gonna go try to make this work in the best possible way for me. However, whatever it is, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to attempt to do it so I can get out of the simulation or make the simulation work in my favor. My knee-jerk reaction when I first came up with this thought experiment was kind of was exactly the opposite. It was like, all right, well, I feel like all the things that I'm doing are for naught. They're kind of pointless. Like there's no, like if somebody is controlling me and I have no reason to do all these things, my ambitions and my aspirations are not my own. They're somebody else. And it was kind of a depressing kind of downward spiral for me. I'm like, that I would fight the urge to want to do the things that I enjoy, because they're not the things that I enjoy. They're the things that the other guy enjoys watching me do. Weirdo.
Well, just to say that it's a simulation doesn't mean you have like no free will. Like you could have free will in the simulation. It just depends on how advanced the simulation is, right?
Right, and that's where we get into the 2-hour conversation of how much control do you have into your own into the simulation. Do you actually have a soul, or is it just ones and zeros? And we could definitely go down that road, but just kind of on the surface level of you found you found the evidence, whatever the evidence is. You found the evidence that this is a Truman Show like experience, and everybody else is just kind of part of it. And not to say you're the main character, you're just part of the show.
Right.
Yeah. So again, going back to it, I do appreciate and admire your like, all right, let's get her done. Let's figure this out.
Make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, because my best of a bad situation was like, all right, let's go get the popcorn and pizza, or I'm just gonna get fat. Like I honestly was like, look, if this is where it's ending, like not ending, but if this is how it's gonna be, and no one's gonna believe me, I can't go around the town, the fake town, this made up simulation town, and say I've got I'm gonna be one of those, I guess in this case,
crazies.
A simulated crackpot that is just one of those crazies. And then if the person creating the simulation realizes that I am sentient and I'm now no longer connected into the simulation, then they'll send machines after me. I'll call it the Matrix.
Stop. Oh. Something did happen recently. I don't have my headset on, but I wanted to introduce you to Cheese.
Hi. Hello.
This is Cheese.
Hi, Cheese. Aww. Hello.
Yeah. We decided to get Warehouse a friend. Aww. And for those of you who are listening and can't see, we got a new cat.
Yay.
His name is Cheese, and we worked with our good friend James to properly introduced them, and now they are friends, and they hang out and chase each other and
oh, that's adorable.
do all sorts of silly things. And he has some mad RBF.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he's got some mad RBF.
Jeez, look at me. Look at me. I want to see your RBF.
Look at the camera.
I want to see your RBF.
Oh, he's tired. He was sleeping. I went and got him. He was sleeping.
Oh.
But he's a cuddler. But
so
he's got
Where did you get cheese?
On. Whoop. He caught my headset cable. We found him on.
This is when you go wireless, Quinnton. With your headset, go get some A50s. Go.
Okay, money bags.
Go get 250. It's not expensive. Go get some A50s and you'll be good.
Yeah, so we found him online on KSL, which is a local website to sell goods and stuff like that. We didn't buy him for anything. The owners, it was just a big mess. The original owner wasn't in a place to really be owning a cat. He basically dumped him on another friend of his and was like, "Here, I need you to watch him permanently. Okay, bye." And so he just lined up and we came along and took over.
Were you or Maddie like actively looking for cats?
Maddie was.
Maddie was? Okay.
I wasn't. Honestly, I didn't want another cat, but she said yes anyway.
So in a nutshell, what was the trick to get them acclimated to each other, both Warehouse and Cheese?
We had them in separate rooms, one in like a room, the other one in the rest of the house. And then after a few days, we'd swap them. And they kind of like got used to each other's scents, each other's existence. And after a few days, they just kind of like one ran into the room as we were opening the door and they just didn't do anything. Like we expected them hissing or yelling or anything of the sort. And we got nothing. They just kind of like, well, you're here. Isn't
that hilarious? Like, oh, you're the guy that I smell. Oh, okay, got it.
Fine, I guess. I guess. Yeah, so we've been.
Oh, you like Game of Thrones too? Okay, let's go play.
Yeah, we've been watching them vigilantly and like how they're playing and stuff, and doing a lot of research on like body language and noises and chirps and stuff of like, okay, they're making these noises, they're doing these things. Are they playing or are they attacking each other? Lightly, like what's going on? And as far as all our research says is they are kind of learning how to play with each other.
Okay,
like they're playing, but they're kind of learning each other's limits and learning like what each other like and like the likes and dislikes. They're becoming friends.
It's funny. It's funny you should say that because we got two dogs here, and when I was first introduced to them, one of the first things that I saw, at the time there are actually three dogs, one big dog and then these two dogs here, and I just heard growling, and I looked in the backyard, and it was almost like a cartoon, just tornado of the dogs just going after each other. And that was my first thought. I was like, oh my God, they're like attacking each other. And then my fiance's mother was like, oh, how cute. I'm like, I look over to her, I'm like, what? I didn't say anything. I just kind of like, what do you mean, how cute? And my fiance like, yeah, they love playing with each other. And then that's when I said, wait, that's playing? Like, yeah, that's playing. Like, how do you know that's playing versus that they're about to rip each other's throat off? And just kind of like what you said, it's about body language. It's about how the growl is. Like when I hear them mad, like really mad, you can tell. But the growl that they were doing was more like, hey, like kind of thing. You know,
you get more of the snarfs and more of the snorts and stuff. And
right.
Yeah, that's playing. But if you get the actual like mohawk, like,
the hair standing on edge and things like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. Now another reason for me not to visit you. That's just I don't like this. I really feel like you and Maddie were like, okay, so Tony's coming to Utah. How do we not see him all that often? Let's get covered in cat hair. Yeah, let's do that. What's the best way to cover ourselves?
Here's what we do. I'll get an air filter and put Maddie on top of like grooming and stuff, keep the hair in line. You go to the doctor and get yourself some treatments for your allergies.
So I actually talked to my doctor about that, and she said,
"Really?
Yeah, I did." And she said, right now, due to my high blood pressure, actually, which reminds me, I need to check my blood pressure. She wants to monitor that, and she didn't want to introduce the allergy tests, because that's essentially what they do. They put a little bit of the allergen or whatever on your back and see which one like gets affected. And she said, I don't want to introduce that into your blood and cause the whole hee-haw right now. I'm like, okay. So,
all right. So you got to work on your blood pressure, and then
I got to work my blood pressure, and that is, no pun intended, a work in progress. It's, at this point, I have the bike, I have, and I have to get better at eating and what is going into this temple of mine. But I've made a promise to myself that I would bike at least 3 times a week for about at least a half an hour. And that's cool. Honestly, I think that is something that's completely doable. But yeah, once that goes down, I can get the allergy test, then I can get the anti-dander shot. And then I can hopefully at that point hold your cats and smother them with my own kisses. And just your eyes, just literally just like put the cat into your eyes and rub, just to make sure that the allergen medicine worked. Put it to the true test. Yeah, you'll just have to have an EpiPen, like just
hovering,
just ready to go. Like, okay, Tony, you good? Like, I think so. So like remove cat eyes are 4 times larger than my head. Like, how do I look?
Just right in the forehead.
All right. Well, Cheese, welcome to the McKinnon family. And Warehouse, good on you, buddy. Good for you. I'm being the bigger cat and not trying to impose your dominance of the household. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching or listening to today's episode. You can find us if you want to keep in contact with us on a lot of lisping there, but you understood what I said. You can find us on Instagram under Still Recording Podcast. And at least individually, Quinnton, where can people find you?
On Instagram and Xbox at Firewall.
You guys can find me those places under Lazy Tech Tony. And also, this show has a channel in my Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, click the link in the description down below. And we will be back probably on Tuesday in 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks is Memorial Day, and Tuesday, Quinnton and I believe we have that day off, so we'll be able to not only have this podcast, but we might even blend it into some gameplay of Steep or Apex or something. So, yeah,
great.
Looking forward to it. Talk to you guys in the next one. Later.
Bye, guys.
Hi.